welcome to Enterprise Tech Spotlight. My name is Keith Hales. I'm the CEO of InfoSystems. And here on our podcast series, we help business leaders and IT leaders get educated and get involved in their business IT decision-making. We've got a little bit of a unique format today. We recently wrapped up the AI Summit that InfoSystems hosted along with our partners, IBM and Aero Electronics, last week in Nashville. We're very excited. As a part of that summit, we were able to record some interviews specifically with the speakers from that summit that we put on. And we're going to be sharing some of those recordings with you guys today. So I'm really excited about the topics, and I hope that you guys are going to learn a lot about AI. Specifically, we're going to be talking a lot about generative AI. And if nothing else, this is a great opportunity for you to get educated and give you some ideas on how you can get engaged in your business. I do want to start with our keynote speaker from that event was Paul Zikopoulos. Paul is a fantastic speaker. If you've never heard him speak before, I highly encourage that you actually go out and maybe find some videos of him, some other recordings of him after you listen to our short recording where we were able to get with him. He's written multiple books, I think over 20 books on the topics of AI and big data. He has consulted with folks like NATO, 60 Minutes, and other organizations of that caliber around the topics of generative AI and big data. And he really is just a leading authority on these topics. So we were fortunate to have him. Some of the topics that he discussed were things like when an organization should look to spend money on artificial intelligence, what types of artificial intelligence sources an organization should trust versus ones that probably they shouldn't be trusting. He also spent some time really thinking about and really speaking to how leaders should be engaging their businesses around the topic of AI, questions they should be asking, paths they should be leading their organization down, and also maybe things they shouldn't be doing. So I was very encouraged and really educated, even myself, on this topic more after getting an opportunity to listen him speak. And he's also fairly entertaining and engaging and quite funny, really, when you have the opportunity to listen to him. So with that, we're gonna transfer over to that interview, and we're looking forward to getting back with you as soon as we are done listening to that. Thanks a lot.
All right, I'm here with Paul Zikopoulos from IBM. Paul, could you give us a quick introduction?
I'm Paul Zikopoulos from IBM. No, I just kid. I'm the VP of Skills at IBM, and pretty big background in data and AI, 30 years. I've published a bunch of books, and I came here to talk today about this new moment of generative AI.
Yeah, so today we're at the Artificial Intelligence Summit in Nashville, Tennessee. Paul just kicked us off with the first presentation of the day. Paul, can you just give us a few quick highlights about what you spoke to this audience about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a 60-minute talk, but we'll do it in a minute here. I really wanted to give people a framework around how to put AI to work for business. Really wanted to differentiate the difference between being an AI user and an AI value creator. And what are the responsible things that you need to think about when you're using AI for business? So from there, I really gave a framework which I think will help anybody on their journey. And that was, think of your budget and spend money to save money or spend money to make money. And when you think of those two areas to spend, there's 3 AI categories of use cases. I covered lots of use cases over lots of industries, but they are optimization, prediction, and automation. And the easiest place to start is spending money to save money with automation for your business.
That's awesome. Now, I got the benefit of seeing your presentation and heard you walk through all of this stuff. Some really great content about actual application of artificial intelligence at the corporate level. And I know, most of the people right now see AI and they think ChatGPT.
Right.
You took it way beyond that. Just at a really high level, what are some of the conversations that business leaders should be having right now that are going to be actually more beneficial for their companies?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll go back to what we started off with, and that is think AI for business if you're a business. Now, everybody's heard about ChatGPT. I think it was this defining moment of the applicability of AI. And it really became applicable because it's available to everyone through natural language. But ChatGPT is a kind of foundation model, a large language model specifically, and there's hundreds of thousands of these models out there. So that should give you an idea that one model will not rule them all, you will use multiple models for what you need to do. Now, when we were talking specifically for business, I gave a set of questions or things that you should be thinking about. I talked about what are the implications of the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions from the size of your model. So do you need the biggest model, most capable model in the world if you have refined 2 or 3 use cases? Boy, you're going to claim a lot of scope emissions on that one. We talked about the cost of the model. Can it run in a single GPU? We talked about asking the vendor, what is it that you do with my data that I submit to you in the prompt? We also talked about things like, how can I ensure my privacy? And we talked about, what kind of data did you use? Will you tell me the data you use? Can you show me the provenance or the lineage of that data? So when I get auditability and I want to put responsible use AI at the front, I can clearly show anybody that I'm using it. I know where the data came from, and I'll show you the things I did to make this safe for business.
Now, I know you mentioned some IBM educational content that's available on artificial intelligence. Would you mind just mentioning where people could go or what's available from IBM?
Yeah, absolutely. Head over to the IBM training website. There's a course out there around the watsonx platform that really captures a lot of the things that I talked about and showcases the product to you. I also talked about how as we kind of adopt into the enterprise generative AI, we expand the surface area configuration of attack for cyber. And this is going to be a big thing as we become digital businesses. I also mentioned around what we call quantum safe encryption, which is really about understanding the threat today is about stealing now, cracking later. So that website has education on that as well. And you can also check out the Skills Network. It's another IBM site. Between those 2 sites, lots and lots of education available for you.
Well, Paul, thank you so much. For those who were in attendance at the Artificial Intelligence Summit, got to hear a lot of great content from you today. I know you speak often, so remember the name Paul Zikopoulos. Go catch him when you have the opportunity because it's some great stuff.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Hey, welcome back to our podcast. I hope you enjoyed the session there from Paul. I really liked what he said all about how to engage AI, specifically on the topic of being a user versus a value creator, just a basic user of AI, which we all are and can be at different times, but how we can view ourselves as people who should be creating value around AI and how we can be adding to those models that we do engage, whether those are simple models or ones that we've engaged internally or built internally, and then I like what he said is you really should be investing in AI around you either spend money on AI to save money or you spend money on AI to make more money. There's great examples that businesses have seen around improvements on back office systems, HR topics, other areas that make a lot of sense on how you should be investing in your AI to save money, but then also to make money, whether that's to improve your products, to find new markets for your products, or frankly, maybe open up brand new product sets based upon an AI model that you've built internally. And then those were just some basic things that I think apply to every business and how every business should be leveraging AI. Also, I think it's very valuable what he said about foundation model and what a foundation model is, right? That there's all these different models out there. I think as a business leader, it's important that we get educated on what those different models are and which one is really a best use case and a best fit for our business, which one is going to give us really the most acceleration around AI that we're going to be able to pivot from and really springboard the value that we're adding. So there's all kinds of different AI tools that are out there. Obviously, we're partnered with IBM as a part of this series that we're doing. And so their watsonx platform is a fantastic model to build from because you can trust the data in there. You can do some very specific, build your own specific expertise that leverages the AI model that is watsonx, but make it specific to your data and to your business use case, so that you can have an interactive model, maybe even a natural language model like a chat GPT, but it's protected and that you can trust the data in, and then add your own data back into that model that doesn't get accessed out to the World Wide Web or even back to IBM, but that makes it that data that you already have inside your environment much more useful for your business, for your users, for your use case. And then lastly, that auditability question, especially if you're in a high compliance environment, think banking, think different industries, around finance, around healthcare, around other things. But if you can't explain what your AI model is doing, then transparently, you probably shouldn't be putting it out there. Or if you can't trust the data that's been fed into it, then you shouldn't put it out there. And I'm not picking on any specific AI models that exist, whether it's ChatGPT or others, but you have to be very careful as far as what data you're feeding into your environment and giving to your people, and perhaps even intermingling with your own data, so that the outputs can be trusted and something that can be audited and something that can be explained, so that if you ever have to go before your board, you have to go before a regulatory group, or just for your own internal integrity, being sure that you have data that is trusting, that you can trust in, is very important for any business as a part of your investment, right? You would never hire somebody that you don't feel like you can trust, so why would you do that with an AI model, right? It's that same concept. And that he mentioned, or he brought up the topic of quantum safe computing, and quantum computing is a whole new world that's out there. Maybe someday we'll do a podcast on that. But this idea that AI is going to be positive, and quantum computing is obviously going to be positive for us, and how those two things can work together, I think that's a little bit over the horizon, maybe a topic for a different podcast series for a different day. But certainly it's something that I think we all are excited about, what those possibilities are. Excuse me. So with that, we're going to wrap up this podcast on for the Enterprise Tech Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the talk from Paul. And if we can ever help you with any topics around AI or anything that's discussed on the podcast, please let us know. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.